Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so I just got back from Japan after spending about 5 weeks there. And I like my pens. I like my stationery. And so I wanted to see what Japan had to offer. And I certainly did see what Japan had to offer because I bought a good amount of Japanese stationery. And so today I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of my Japanese stationery haul. I didn't buy like an extreme amount of stationery or anything like that kind of thing, but I did buy all of the stuff that I was kind of interested in buying that you can't really find in the States. And I found some stuff that you can find in the States, but it's just a little bit different kind of thing. And today I certainly am very excited to give you guys the full rundown of what I bought from Japanese stationery stores or Japanese stationery areas in Japanese department stores, because honestly, it really is nuts how good the stationery department is in like just normal department stores. It's absolutely nuts. Even going to like 7-Eleven, it's like, what is going on? They have actual like notebooks and I don't know, good stationery here kind of thing. Like, they don't have a lot of variety kind of, but they have good stationery at 7-Eleven. And I'm like, what? Either way, though, I am certainly very, very, very excited to give you guys the full rundown of all of the stationery I bought in Japan. I've already used everything you guys see on screen. This is the full haul and everything like that kind of thing. I've already used everything, but I haven't shown it on camera yet, so I figured I should probably do that, you know what I'm saying? I figured I should probably do that. Without further ado, I think the first thing I'm going to go ahead and show y'all is probably the notebook I bought. I bought this notebook for one reason and one reason only, because it was only 231 yen, or about, I want to say like $1.75 USD. It's really cheap. You don't get that many pages, and the paper isn't really the thickest paper in the world kind of thing, but it was cheap, and I just wanted to draw kind of thing. I just wanted to draw, and I'm very glad to have just bought this notebook just to draw in, because I was just kind of like, I just want a cheap notebook to draw in kind of thing. I don't care about spending a lot of money on something that I'm just going to draw in and then never use again after that kind of thing. I don't have any interest in buying something like, let's say, a Rhodia or a Moleskine. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Rhodia and Moleskine, but for my purposes, with how much I draw, it's just too expensive kind of thing. And this notebook was perfect for it, especially for the quality of what it is. This is a Maruman sketchbook made in Japan, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm just gonna go ahead and flip to a piece of paper that doesn't have anything on it. I think, let's just take a look real quick if I can actually get the stuff going. Okay, so I think, yeah, this is a piece of paper with nothing on it. As we can see, I've already used up almost half of the notebook, you know what I'm saying? But the paper itself is very nice, high quality. As I said, it's not the thickest paper in the world, but it's actually thicker than not quite thick enough to do watercolor on, but definitely thick enough to use a light-ish sort of, I was about to say pen like this, but I haven't shown you all this pen yet. I'd say like a light-ish sort of felt tip pen without it bleeding through too much, as long as you don't just sit there and just sit there and just sit there and everything like that kind of thing. It's pretty good quality, especially for the price kind of thing. Better quality than what you get back in the here in the States. I ain't gonna lie, definitely better quality than what you get here in the States for the price. Not bad at all if I do say so myself. Not bad at all if I do say so myself. I think the first thing I want to cover, besides the notebook, is probably what I brought back pen-wise. I've got a Uni Posca right here. I've got a Kuretake. This is like a semi-brush tip pen. And I've got a Uniball Signo. And I've got a, what is this? This is a Pilot High-Tech C. And then I've got a Japanese calligraphy pen. And then I've got some sort of like, I guess like correction marker or something like that kind of thing right here as well. And those are all of the pens that I brought back, unless you count a highlighter as a pen, but I'll be covering this in just a few minutes, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But these are all of the pens that I brought back. I think first off, I'm going to go ahead and cover the Posca. Now, Posca is pretty big in Japan. In fact, Posca is actually bigger than Sharpie in Japan. I did see Sharpies in Japan. Sharpie does exist as a brand in Japan, but Posca is bigger. Posca is a bigger permanent marker brand than Sharpie, which I find pretty amusing. And also, the Sharpies were actually more expensive than Poscas there. Like, this was cheaper than Poscas in the United States. This was, I want to say, $2. And I'm sure if you buy Poscas online, you can get it for even cheaper than that. But at, like, my local art store, Poscas are, like, for this same size, are, like, $2.53. It's getting ludicrous. Let's just go ahead and use it real quick. Although there's really nothing to note about this pen right here, in all honesty. It's a Posca. If you used a Posca before, it's just like that Posca you used before, in all honesty. There's really no big differences between this Posca and United States Poscas. I just bought it because it was cheaper than normal, and I wanted a Posca in Japan, in all honesty, and it's got Japanese all over it and everything like that kind of thing. So you can tell that it is indeed a Japanese Posca. Pretty cool, if I do say so myself, that is for sure. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf at all. And we can see right there, made in Japan, Mitsubishi Pencil Company, you know what I'm saying? And let's go and do a little bit of a drawing with it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and real quick just do just a very light little drawing. Just kind of like that kind of thing. Not my best drawing ever, but hey, it is what it is. There we go. And let's just go ahead and give them a body. I don't know what I did there, but hey, it is what it is kind of thing. I just kind of wanted to do the head anyway. And let's just give them some little eye lines and whatnot. Just like that. And yeah, there we go. I'm pretty sure I'm all done, in all honesty. It's a Posca. There's really not much different, in all honesty. And I'm very happy with my purchase, especially for the price I paid. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. The next pen I want to go ahead and cover is this pen right here. This is a Kuretake. I don't know anything else about it. It says made in Japan. I don't know anything else about this pen. I used to own one of these. Not this exact size. This is a Kuretake one millimeter. No, 1 millimeter? Is it? Yeah, it's 1 millimeter. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I'm actually thinking about the right size. Yeah, it's a Kuretake 1 millimeter. I used to own a 0.7 millimeter Kuretake, and I really liked that pen for years. I bought it in New York City. I was in New York City for like 6 hours for a layover or something like that kind of thing, and I was like, well, we're here for 6 hours. Let's go into the New York City. So I took the subway into New York City, and went to a pen store. It was really good. Really glad I got to go to a pen store. And this was the pen. Well, this was not the exact pen I bought in the pen store, but I bought the 0.7 size of this pen in the pen store, and I loved it for years and years and years. And it was a fantastic, really great pen, and I love drawing with it. And then it died because, I mean, like, it's a disposable pen kind of thing. It's just going to die eventually, and there's no refills because this is a disposable pen. But I couldn't find this pen anywhere around where I lived. I couldn't remember the name, so I had no chance of finding it online. I didn't even have a photo of it, so I couldn't find it online. But I knew what it looked like kind of thing. I knew what it looked like. And I was just in a Japanese art store, as you do kind of thing. And I saw this pen, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And the 0.7 was right next to it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is the pen I used to own. This is the pen I used to own. Well, not this exact one, but the 0.7 was. And I decided to switch it up and get the 1.0 instead. And I'm very happy with my purchase. Let me just put it that way. I'm very happy with my purchase. Certainly, the cap really doesn't want to stay on there, though. I'm going to just leave the cap off while I'm doing a little bit of a drawing. I ain't gonna lie. But I am very happy with my purchase. That is for sure. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. As said, this is a little bit of like a little bit of like a semi brush tip pen or something like that kind of thing. Not exactly sure. It's like a plastic brush tip pen or something like that kind of thing. I really, really, really like it though. I really do like this pen, in all honesty, and I am a big fan of it. Let's just go ahead and do a little drawing real quick. You know what I'm saying? What do I want to draw? What do I want to draw? I think I'm just going to draw like one of my little guys or something like that kind of thing. So just a little bit of a brush tip, so you get some unevenness with like the sorry, I'm concentrating real quick. There we go. So you do get some like sort of like unevenness with like how thick the line is and how thin the line is. But that's one of the things I really like about this pen. That is definitely one of my favorite things about this pen, I ain't gonna lie, is the unevenness. I feel like it gives the drawing a lot of personality, and that is something I'm a really big fan of, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And yeah, no, there's the little drawing, I ain't gonna lie. Let's just go and add some extra little details, just like that kind of thing. Just like that, and just a little bit more kind of thing. There we go, perfect. And let's just add some little eyebrow up there and just some little nose lines right there and everything like that. And there we go. Perfect. All done. I love this pen and I am looking forward to making a lot of videos with it in the future. That is for sure. I'm a big fan of the unevenness of it and everything like that kind of thing. Huge fan, you know what I'm saying? The next pen I bought in Japan was a Uniball Signo. This is a 1.0. Uniball Signo does exist in the United States, but not in the same fashion it does in Japan, I want to say, because this is also a Uniball Signo. This is 0.7, this is a 1.0, and they write completely differently. They write so differently. This is so smooth, and this is like, it's smooth, don't get me wrong, but it's more rough than anything. But this is like so smooth to draw with, and it smears like very easily, I ain't gonna lie, but I really, really, really like it because it just draws so easily. It's just so smooth to draw with, and this is one of my favorite pens I brought back with me from Japan, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of a drawing real quick. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a fish real quick, you know what I'm saying? So let's just do a fish just like this, you know what I'm saying? Just like that. Very simple, easy fish. Nothing really too much going on, you know what I'm saying? Nothing really too much going on. Let's just go ahead and do some teeth real quick. Because, you know, it's not a fish without some teeth, you know what I'm saying? And there we go. There's my little fish. Not my best fish ever, I ain't gonna lie. But super easy to draw with this pen. Very, very, very smooth. The ink does fade over time a little bit. But, I mean, like, what pen ink doesn't fade besides maybe the Posca? The Posca ink is still really dark, I ain't gonna lie. But the ink does fade a little bit over time, but it's just so smooth to draw with, like just going like this kind of thing. There is no resistance at all. It really is just so nice, and I really, 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 really do love this pen, and I am just so excited to use it in future videos. And honestly, I kind of want to buy myself a pack of these. I think this might be my new favorite capped pen. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Really big fan of this pen, and it's a way better pen than this Uniball Signo. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This is a way better pen than this pen right here. I'm gonna go ahead and move. I'm gonna go put that back in my holder, and I'm gonna go and move that over there. And now I'm going to go and move on to the next pen I bought. This is the Pilot High-Tech C. The one and only reason I bought this pen is because it's 0.25 millimeters. Oh, man, my nose is itchy. Oh, man. Why is my nose itchy all of a sudden? I cannot believe that, you know what I'm saying? I cannot believe that. But the one and only reason why I bought this pen right here is because it is 0.25 millimeters. Yes. Not milliliters. Millimeters. And it's one of the smallest pens I've ever used, and I hate it. I bought this because it was a small pen, knowing I wasn't going to like it very much, and I don't like it very much. I don't like drawing with small pens. My preference is anywhere from 0.5 to 1.0. Anywhere above 1.0, unless it's something like a Posca, I don't really like all that much kind of thing. It's just too big for what I want to do. You just can't get details done. But anything below a 0.5 just comes off as scratchy, and I don't really like it all that much. 0.5, below 0.5, like mechanical pencils and stuff, that's different. Pens, though, I don't like. I don't like pens that are less than 0.5. It's just not my thing. Comes off as scratchy, and that is exactly how this pen comes off. I'm just going to real quick do a quick little drawing, just like this kind of thing. And I mean, like, it's very small. It's very small, as we can see, but it's like it's very scratchy to use, and if you use too much pressure, I have full faith that it's just going to go through the paper. And that is honestly why, like, I think they make 0.25, I don't think is the smallest size you can get in a pen. They do make smaller. They make 0.18 size, I want to say. And those, if you use them with like really thin paper, they'll just slice right through like a knife kind of thing. And this pen definitely is exactly the same way. They do make, of course, even smaller pens than 0.18 pens, I want to say. But they're basically unusable because you're just going to slice right through the paper with the pen kind of thing. It's just a knife at that point. But either way, a good pen, and if I'm looking to do like a really detailed drawing or like a really small, like very light, almost like ghost-like drawing, I think this pen will be really good for it. And as such, I don't regret my purchase at all. I am glad I own this pen, but I don't think I'm going to be using this pen on any routine basis. But certainly no complaints on my behalf. But look at how small that nib is. It really is crazy, y'all. It really is crazy. I ain't going to lie. But next up, we have my Japanese calligraphy pen. Now, this took me a minute to figure out how to use. First off, I had to get rid of the safety so it doesn't leak everywhere. And then second off, you have to press this while you're using it. It took me a minute to get used to. And I'm still not used to it, in all honesty. It took me a minute to learn how to use. Let me put it that way. I still am not used to this, but I am very, 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 very excited to well, use it more in the future and use it during some videos, that is for sure, because I think it has a very interesting look to it. Well, let's just go ahead and give it a go real quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and just try to write Joe real quick, I think. Just like that kind of thing. And I think it has a pretty interesting look to it, and it's something I really do like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how drawings I do with it turn out, that is for sure, because I think they're going to turn out definitely a lot more interesting than not, and I think that this pen is going to give them an interesting look, which is exactly why I bought it. This is a Japanese calligraphy pen. You're not really meant to use this to draw with, I'm pretty sure, at least. But I want to use it to draw with, because I think what I draw with it is going to look pretty interesting, and I definitely am very excited to draw with it. This is, I want to say, actually the most expensive pen I bought in Japan. It was, I want to say, 780 yen. Yeah, no, Japanese calligraphy pens are not cheap. This was the cheapest calligraphy pen I could find in Japan, 780 yen, which is still, I want to say, over $5 USD. More expensive than most of the packs of cigarettes I bought in Japan. Yeah, Japanese calligraphy pens are no joke. They are expensive, but it's pretty cool for what it is, and I definitely am very excited to, well, use it in the future and use it for a bunch of drawings in the future, I ain't gonna lie, because I think that this is going to make it look pretty interesting. I think that this pen is going to make the drawings look pretty interesting, even if the drawings themselves are not the most interesting thing in the world. I have no clue what brand this is. In all honesty, absolutely no idea what brand this is, but it's a cool pen nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? And without further ado, let's go ahead and move on, I suppose. Do I want to do the correctional marker first, or do I want to do the highlighter first? I think I'm going to do the correctional marker first. And I'm going to go ahead and flip to another... Actually, no, I'm not going to flip to another page. I am just real quick going to go like this, just so we can actually use the correctional marker on something. And I'm just going to let that dry real quick while I show you guys the correctional marker. So this is a pencil correctional marker. I bought this because I like correctional markers. I think correctional markers are interesting, and I think they're pretty good to use in drawings, not to correct stuff, but just to give it a little bit of an interesting look kind of thing. And I've bought a correctional, sort of like tube marker before or whatever. I don't like it. I didn't like it in the United States. I wasn't really that big of a fan. It always got gummed up. It never really worked super well. Not really a big fan, I ain't gonna lie. And I'm hoping that this one is better. And I definitely, after trying it, I think it's better. I hope it's better. It does take a long time to dry. It does take a very long time to dry. And I think it's water-based. I don't think it's oil-based, which is a shame. I do prefer oil-based correctional markers, but they don't really make many oil-based correctional markers, I will admit, because that stuff never comes out of your clothing. So why would they? But either way, I do like this, and I think this has dried a little bit. So let's go ahead and try it out, you know what I'm saying? And this is another pen you need to push on. You need to squeeze while you're using. So let's just go ahead and squeeze a little bit, and let's go ahead and just use it like that. And we can see correctional marker do be correct, and just like that, you know what I'm saying? And let's just go ahead. Just like that kind of thing. And I don't know how well this would work on stuff other than paper, I ain't gonna lie on. Yeah, this is going to take a fat minute to dry, I ain't gonna lie on. This is going to take a fat minute to dry. I don't know how well this would work not on paper. And let me tell you all what, wow, it really smells. It smells so much like alcohol. It really does smell, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But I think I might have used a little bit too much liquid. I will admit, I think I might have used a little bit too much liquid. I'll just let that dry, though. I'm not flipping the page or anything like that for the rest of the video. But I don't know how well it would work not on paper, but on paper it seems to work pretty decently well, and I think it would be... I think it's something good to add a little bit more of an aspect to the drawing kind of thing, just to add a little bit more differentiation, to add a little bit more details and everything like that kind of thing. I think this pen is pretty good for that, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing how I can use it in the future, that is for sure. The next one I want to cover is my Pilot Spotlighter from Japan. I bought a highlighter in Japan. I've been using my Staedtler Tri Plus highlight for the last couple years, and it's pretty good, but it's definitely getting worn in, that is for sure. And sometimes it fades, but most of the time it doesn't. But I wanted a new highlighter kind of thing, and this was pretty cheap, and it's a pretty good highlighter for what it is, for what I can tell. Let's just go ahead and use it real quick. We can see the nib of it is pretty small, though. Definitely not a big nib, but let's just go ahead and just use it real quick, and we can see the color is very, 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 very potent. and it does not fade at all. Does not fade at all. No squeezing necessary or nothing like that kind of thing. And overall, no, I'm very happy with my purchase. Yeah, this is a great highlighter. I really like this highlighter, and I'm very happy with my purchase. I ain't gonna lie. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Oh no, did I get that on the correctional stuff? I really hope I didn't. No, I did not. Okay, cool. I'm so glad that didn't hit the correctional stuff, because then I would have the correctional stuff all over this. And the correctional stuff, I got it on my hand by accident. It's sticky. The correctional stuff is sticky. It's not pleasant. But this highlighter is great, and it was cheap too. I think it was like 110 yen. Can't complain. That's less than $1 USD. That's like 85 cents to 90 cents USD. Can't beat that for a highlighter kind of thing. You can't beat that for a highlighter, especially since this is definitely higher quality, in my opinion, than cheap highlighters in the States. Moving on from my pens, though, that I brought back from Japan, I didn't bring back any mechanical pencils. And that's something I honestly kind of wish I had done. I kind of wish I had brought back some mechanical pencils, but I don't really use mechanical pencils that much, and honestly, the mechanical pencils I use are very similar to the mechanical pencils that they have in Japan. After all, I do use a pencil graph gear, and pencil graph gear is pretty big in Japan, although not this model. This is an old model of pencil graph gear. This model is not very popular in Japan anymore. It is mostly the new model of the pencil graph gear, from what I could tell. In fact, I didn't see any of these in stores, any of this model in stores kind of thing. It's just the new model, but the new model is very nice, I will admit. I used it. But I didn't bring back any mechanical pencils from Japan. But what I did bring back were some mechanical erasers. I am a complete mechanical eraser sucker. I ain't gonna lie. I love mechanical erasers. And so I brought back a Seed Slendy Plus and a Tombow Knock 3.8. Both of which I am happy with. Very happy with this one. I really like this one. Not so happy with this one, but I'll get to that in a minute. But let's just go ahead and just make some marks on the paper real quick, just so I can have something to erase to demonstrate the erasers. Let's just go and put that back in my holder. And now let's go ahead and use the first one. Now, Tombow is a pretty big company. They make some very expensive stuff, I will admit, but this is their cheap stuff. This was, I want to say, 300 yen, so like 250 USD. I don't know. Something like around about 220 USD or something like that kind of thing. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. 300 yen for this. Not bad at all if I do say so myself. And let's see how well it works. It works pretty well if I do say so myself. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Very happy with it. And I'm very glad that the mechanical eraser stuff, you just press on the back of it just like that kind of thing. And it works pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Let's go ahead and get that all back in there. And, you know, not much else to say about it. I do like that it's clear. I think that's pretty cool that you can see the spring working and everything like that kind of thing. I think that is pretty cool if I do say so myself. But, you know, not too much to say about this pen. I'm very happy with my purchase. It's cheap. It's Tombow, and I'm very glad I was able to get a cheap Tombow. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But, no, it's a good mechanical eraser. It's not really anything super unique mechanical eraser-wise. It's just a mechanical eraser that is very much just meant for erasing. It's a good mechanical eraser. Not much to say about it. I will admit, though, I'm not super happy with this, though, because I bought... This is the Seed Slendy Plus. It's like an aluminum mechanical eraser, right? Or so I thought, because it's actually not a mechanical eraser. It's just an eraser holder. So you press it down like that, and then you can pull it out yourself. It's not actually a real mechanical eraser. You have to pull out the eraser yourself. It's not a mechanical, it's just an aluminum eraser holder that you can go like this with. And this is plastic. This is not aluminum. This is plastic. I spent 500 yen on this. This is my biggest regret purchase. Am I still going to use it? Yes. But I would not buy this again. Everything else I have right here so far, I would buy again. So far. I would not buy this again. In fact, I don't actually recommend any of y'all buy this because it's not a mechanical eraser. Although, granted, I also went into purchasing this thinking it was a mechanical eraser when it's not. But it does work pretty well for erasing. It does work pretty well for erasing, I ain't gonna lie. Let's just go ahead and just erase a little bit. And yeah, no, it works pretty well for erasing, and it gets rid of those chunks very, very, very quickly. As we can see, it's just cleaning that up very fast, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. And there we go. It's almost all gone, you know what I'm saying? It's almost all gone. It is a good eraser. The eraser is good, and I did indeed buy some refills for it because I thought this was a mechanical eraser. I did indeed buy some refills for it, and I'm definitely going to be using it in the future, that is for sure. And who knows, maybe I'll end up liking it, but at the moment, I am just more disappointed than not that it's not an actual mechanical eraser. I bought one final thing, though, and in Japan, for stationery-wise and everything like that. I bought one final thing stationery-wise in Japan. It's not a pen, it's not a pencil, It's not a mechanical eraser, and it's not a notebook. So what could it be? Paint? No. I bought a ruler. I bought a ruler. This is a clear ruler. It's really small. I really like my rulers. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I do really like my rulers. This is a Sakura OA stationary. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. Sakura OA stationary. I don't know. Maybe it's pronounced differently in Japanese. But this is pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. You can see everything under it and everything like that. And honestly, I've been wanting a clear ruler for a while because it's really helpful when you're drawing. If you really want to do good perspective and stuff like that kind of thing, rulers are super helpful. And having a clear ruler just makes it even easier because it's been one of those things I like my metal rulers. I really do like my metal rulers. But the issue with metal rulers and wooden rulers is that you can't see under them. So it's very easy for you to make a mistake and draw a line just slightly over from where you wanted to kind of thing because you can't exactly see where the line is going to be going and everything like that kind of thing. And then boom, all of a sudden you either now need to erase the line or you need to start over because you used pen. This, though, fixes that issue, and it fixes that issue for 198 yen, or less than $2 USD. So I really do have no complaints on my behalf, and I'm very happy to have it. This is the, I've actually been wanting a smaller ruler for a while for drawing videos and whatnot, because I have a larger ruler. I have a, I want to say it's a, I can't remember. I think it might be a Stadler ruler. I can't remember what brand it is. But I have a really nice big metal ruler. It's bigger than what you guys can see right here. It's super big. It's like, I want to say 2 feet or something like that. It's ridiculously big. I can't use a ruler that big when I'm drawing on a desk. I have to be doing that on like a canvas or something like that, which is why I bought the ruler. I bought the rulers to draw big. It's good for that, but when I'm doing like smaller drawings on like notebooks this size and stuff, it just does not work kind of thing. It just does not work. And so I've been needing a smaller ruler too. And I'm very happy to have gotten one as a souvenir in Japan, that is for sure. But you know, that is my entire Japanese stationery haul. I am very happy with what I bought. I ain't gonna lie, I certainly am very happy with what I bought. And I have really no regrets about any of my purchases. I really don't. I mean, like the Seed Slendy Plus, maybe a little bit kind of thing. Maybe a little bit of regret about that purchase, but still more so not than anything kind of thing. I still think it's a good product. I still think it does what it sets out to do kind of thing, besides it not being a mechanical eraser. But it is a better product than not, that is for sure. So certainly no complaints on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Overall, very happy with my Japanese stationery haul, and I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I, well, showed y'all my Japanese stationery haul. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. Box, and my main channel, all in the description down below. Go check it all out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, y'all. To the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?